Well, hello there. How are you today? I am doing pretty good. Today is Thursday. It's almost the weekend, and I have an oldie but goodie to read to you today. This was one of my son's favorite books when he was in elementary school, and this is probably the third copy that we have gone through. Now, when I read this story, you're going to hear some words that you probably don't know the meaning of. Like some of you may not know what knitting is. That's when you take two long sticks with a point on the end. They're called knitting needles, and you knit yarn. You can make scarves or sweaters or socks, blankets, caps. You can make a lot of things when you knit. It's something that mainly women tend to do, but men can do it as well. It's very relaxing. I know how to knit, but my preference is crochet. And that's when you're using one needle and it goes a little faster than knitting, but they're not going to talk about that in this book. And the other word you may not know of is whittling. Whittling is almost a lost art. It's when you take a piece of wood and you have a knife and you carve the wood and you can make it into anything you want. You can make a walking stick. Uh, you can make a car for a child. You can make a whistle. There are so many things that people have made by whittling. It's a lost, almost a lost art. Not many people do it now. Um, but when you see someone doing it, it's just amazing to watch them do it. So maybe you can ask your mom and dad to look up whittling on YouTube and see if you can find a video of someone doing it, and you'll know what it looks like. And see if you can find one for knitting as well. Our book today is called Possum Come a Knocking. Now, I have to tell you, in the United States, the word is not possum, it's opossum. Possums live in Australia and in that region, and they actually look more like a cat. And I'm pretty sure they don't have the same type of tail that the opossum that's native to North America has. The opossum is a nocturnal animal. That means it comes out at night, and it has a face that kind of looks like a rat and a long tail. So there is a difference between the opossum, which is native to North America, which is where we live, and the possum is native to Australia and that region. And they do look different, but they are both marsupials. The opossum is the only marsupial native to the North America continent. Okay, Possum Come on. It is written by Nancy Van Laan, illustrated by George Booth, and we can give a big shout out and thank you to Dragonfly Books for allowing us to read Possum Come a Knocking. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Granny was a sittin' and a rockin' and a knittin' when a possum come a knocking at the door. Ma was busy cooking in the kitchen making taters when a possum come a knocking at the door. Pa was busy fixing and a banging and a pounding when a possum come a knocking at the door. Pappy was a whittling making play toys for the baby when a possum come a knocking at the door. Sis was tossing baby while Pappy was a whittling when a possum come a knocking at the door. Brother was untangling all the twiny line for fishing while Sis was talking baby and Pappy was a whittling and Pa was busy fixing and Ma was busy cooking and Granny was a knitting when a possum come a knocking at the door. Coon dog was a twitching and a scratching in the corner when a possum come a knocking at the door. There's the coon dog. Tomcat started hissing and a spitting and a sniffing when a possum come a knocking at the door. "What's that?" Sis said. "Don't know," Brother said. "What's that?" Pa said. "Don't know," Granny said. "But that cat," she said, "that cat ought to go." Then Dog started sniffing and a pawing and a growling while the cat till a twitching was a hissing and a howling, making Granny stop a knitting and Pappy stop a willing and Baby started fussing, Sis and Brother started cussing 'cause a little old possum was knocking at the door. "What's that?" Granny said. "Don't know," Pappy said. "What's that?" Ma said. "Don't know," Pa said. Then I creepy across the floor and peeked under the door. "It's a possum come a knocking on the door," I said. "It's a possum come a knocking on the door." Then Brother came a leaping, and Sis came a running, and Baby came a crawling, and Dog started howling, and Pappy was a chuckling, and Granny's eyes was twinkling as Ma followed Pa to the door. "Now hush," Pa said. "Now hush," Ma said, and slowly Pa opened up the door. "Now y'all stop your hollering, your fussing, and your cussing, 'cause there's nothing that's a knocking at the door." "No possum?" Pappy said. "No possum," Pa said. "No possum?" Granny said. "No possum," Ma said. Then we all started doing like before. Granny was a sitting while Pappy was a whittling. Ma was a cooking while Pa was a fixing. Brother was untangling while Sis was tossing Baby. Coondog was a scratching while Tomcat was a licking. And I was just a sitting and a looking out the window when I saw what I saw scoot up the old oak tree. A possum was a scooting and a scrambling and a dangling. That possum that was knocking made a fool out of me. The end. All right, like I said, that was one of my son's favorite stories when he was a little boy. And this is copy number 3 that we have gone through. I think people like it because of the uh, pronunciation of the words and because of the cadence. Remember, we read another book that had rhyme. I don't remember which one it was. And we talked about how stories can have a cadence or rhythm. And this one has one as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, in our country, the marsupial is called opossum. And in Australia, it's called possum. Ask mom and dad if they can spend some time with you on YouTube and see if you can find a video of someone whittling so you can know what that looks like, knitting so you can know what knitting looks like, and look up a possum and an opossum and see the difference. Like I said, the possum looks sort of like a cat, and the opossum, he can get as big as a cat, but he looks more like a rat in his face, and he has a more of a rat-like tail versus the possum. So in our country, it's opossum. In Australia, it's possum. All right, that's all I have for you today. Um, I don't know what we're going to read tomorrow, but we shall read. So I will talk to you tomorrow. I wish you well. Bye bye.